make me excited and nervous at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because I think we can all agree that today's topic really ties to our identity as Malaysians because you know what invokes the most pride in a Malaysian than our own food, right? And I'm sure
Correct.
everyone can agree on that. Yeah, our pride as Malaysians is like we have everything that we are happy of, but nothing makes us prouder than food. But of course, the things like nasi lemak and roti canai and all sorts of kueh and such and such. But the thing is that do people, whenever they eat these things, they enjoy our local cuisine, do they
Mm.
ever think about how, can this actually influence my cancer risk? So, how does food and cancer, how does diet and cancer actually tie everything together? And so, that is the question that we will be answering, as well as a topic that we will be diving deep into for this webinar. And today, we have our very special guest for today, that is Yen Chi. So she is a colleague of mine at Cancer Research Malaysia. So yeah, we do often bump into one another in the office, but she's working from home today and I'm in the office, so we're not well,
Correct,
proximity is a
correct.
bit larger than usual today. But yeah, Yanchi, first of all, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for agreeing to actually speak in this webinar. So, would you mind like
It's my
introducing
honor.
yourself? Yeah, would you mind introducing yourself to
Sure.
the audience today?
Can. Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Loo Yen Chi, but I prefer everyone just call me Yen Chi, without the doctor in front to make us like more down to earth. And I actually have the background of training as a nutritionist in UCSI University. And then after I graduate from UCSI University, I actually study overseas about natural product chemistry in Taiwan before I come back to work in Cancer Research Malaysia. So technically, I'm focusing more on like nutrition, natural product chemistry previously, and cancer is quite a new thing for me. Humbly to say, I just worked for like about 3 years, so I'm also quite new in this area, and I'm still constantly learning in how diet can actually relationship have the relationship with cancer. Yeah, so
Interesting.
be generous and be yeah. Be kind to me if you ask questions.
All right, amazing. But I mean, after all, you do still classify as a dietitian slash nutritionist. So I think you're the perfect person, at least in our
Nutritionist, yeah.
company. Yeah.
Nutritionist, not dietitians,
What's the
yeah.
difference, anyways? What's the difference? Care to enlighten
Yeah, a
me a
lot of
bit?
people are saying that these are sister course, but I would say that nutritionists are more working on the prevention, public health education, while dietitian they can work with the patient itself. So they
Oh, I
normally in the
see.
hospital doing the formulations and then also how to recommend you the diet in terms of if you already have the disease. But nutritionist is more to like the public and then also the prevention part. Mm.
See. Okay, great. So let's get started on grilling you with some questions. All right? Okay,
All
so my
right,
first
can.
question to you is, what
Mm.
is the relationship between diet and cancer?
Is that wow, that is a very general question, but it's a
Mhm.
good to start, okay?
Yeah.
As a nutritionist, we always love to say like you are what you eat, okay? How you can eat can actually determine how we look in terms of our skin, in terms of our body weight, and then also how our body functions over time to fight against disease like cancer. So particularly, I think the more direct one is like it influences directly on our body weight. How we eat influence our body weight. So back
Mhm.
to the cancer itself, we know that cancer happens when the damaged cells in our body, like they grow out of control and they don't stop when they should, right? So generally, a healthy diet can help us to maintain a healthy body weight that reduce the
Mhm.
chance of the cells growing out of control and help the body to repair damage if there is. So if you do not take care of your diet and gaining weight over time, the extra fat cells in our body, like they just don't stay there and then sleep there. They will actively release some signals that can increase the inflammation in our body, and they might be making hormones. But like the hormone
Mhm.
like insulin and estrogen, they're actually good for our body because they encourage the cell to grow. But if you have too much of the cells like growing rapidly, dividing too quickly, there might be a higher chance that mistake like cancers that will happen. So in short, an unhealthy diet, they can contribute to weight gain. Okay, and then excess weight can create conditions in the body that make cancers more likely to develop over time. But this doesn't mean that everyone who is overweight, they will develop cancer. It's just that
Uh,
the risk is higher for those who are overweight. So
I
maintain
see.
a balanced diet and a healthy weight can help to reduce these risks. I will also try to make a disclaimer here. Okay, all right. Same goes to the healthy people. It doesn't mean that everyone who is healthy will have the 100% guarantee of cancer free. But what we
Mm-hmm.
are going to talk today is focusing on how to eat healthily as a way to reduce our cancer risk. Yeah, I think that's answer your question.
Amazing. I think you have explained it quite adequately, and
Yeah,
from
try to
what
link it
I
with the
can
body weight.
yeah, and from what I can understand, it all ties back to your body weight because obviously your
Mm,
diet is linked to your body weight. And if you eat unhealthy food like
mm,
fast food and junk food, of course it's going to,
correct.
increase your body weight. But if you say like eat something a bit more balanced, like full of vegetables and proteins and such, then it's going to help
Yeah.
you maintain a healthy body weight. And so, like you said, like too much of something is not good. So if your body
Mm,
weight is like at a very high value, then it's going to cause inflammation, right? As you said, and then the hormones will start
yeah,
pouring out of your body, and then that's when everything starts to
constantly.
go downhill. Yeah. So I can imagine. So it's the link between like food and then body weight and also your risk of
Yes.
getting cancer. Okay,
Yes.
great. And I also really like the way you mentioned about how because the first thing that comes to my mind when you mention about the inflammation process and the hormones is like how our body has to work overtime to
Mm,
regulate and also maintain the hormonal levels. And so
mm,
it reminds me of how, like, say for example, if you are a student in class, and you're writing something in your notebook or you're just writing down your
yeah.
homework. So at a very relaxed pace, your handwriting will look very nice, right? So there's like no rush, no pressure, everything is fine. But say for
Mm,
example, you compare that to like when you're in an exam and you have like
correct.
maybe another
Wow,
paragraph
memories
left to
having.
write, and then the time is just like ticking. You have like 15 minutes left or 10 minutes left, then you start to scribble, and then
Yeah.
that's how I'm imagining it. I'm not sure whether that's the right analogy, but I think it
Correct.
can
I think
help.
everyone understand.
I think it
Mm,
can help people to understand a bit better, yeah, because it's a bit sciencey, but of course we don't want to go too much into that, right? Okay, great. And I agree with you on the part that you said that even if you are overweight, it doesn't 100% guarantee that you are going to
mm,
get cancer. It just
mm.
increases your risk compared to
Yes.
somebody who is not overweight. And even if you are a healthy person, like you exercise every day, you eat really healthy, whether you're on the gluten-free diet or the vegan diet, vegetarian, it also doesn't 100% guarantee that you are cancer-free for the rest of your life. Because I think in the case of cancer, it all boils down to luck.
And
Whether or
also a
not.
lot of different factors
Yeah,
other
of
than
course.
dietary,
Of
like your
course,
family
yeah, definitely.
history, like the lifestyle, yeah, everything.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So because cancer is not caused by one factor, it's caused
Correct.
by many, many factors. Yeah, so
Mm,
it's definitely very hard to pinpoint what exactly is going to definitely cause cancer. Yeah. Okay,
mm.
great. So that's the appetizer for the first question. And so can you give us a few examples of what specific types of foods that are linked to cancer?
Specific type. Okay.
Yeah, like certain types. Yeah, is there like
Hmm.
some red flags or some green flags? So now we focus
Oh,
on the red flags.
let's see how I answer this. So normally, eating a specific type of food once in a while, it does not cause cancer immediately, but the problem is you eating them often and over many years. Okay, some food can increase your cancer risk because they contain or produce a substance that known as a carcinogens. Okay, if you are new to this term, this carcinogen means a substance that may increase the risk of cancer. So, for example, processed meat. all right, like hot dogs, bacon, or ham, they are linked with certain cancer, especially the colorectal cancer, due to the food preservative like the nitrate compounds they added into or they produce during the processing process, right? And also other foods that preserve like salt, we always like to eat a salted fish in Chinese. They can also
Oh, yeah.
increase the risk of stomach cancer if you eat them too often.
I
And
see.
I think alcohol is another one. Okay, drinking alcohol in high amount, this has been linked to several type of cancers, and including the liver and breast cancer. I think it's quite common already. And alcohol
Oh,
is
yes.
actually also classified as the strong evidence also. We should also be mindful, I think, of some of the highly processed food. They are high in like fat, sugar, like what you say just now, the fast food, snack, and all the sugary drinks, right? This food does not directly cause the cancer on their own, but like I said just now in the first question, they can lead to the weight gain and obesity over time, which can increase your cancer risk. All right. So these are
Mm.
the red flag that I want to mention. And on the flip side, okay, it's not just about what we eat too much of, but also what we don't eat enough of. So diet that are low in fruits, vegetable, and fiber, they can also raise cancer risk because they do help to protect ourselves and keep our bodies healthy. So overall, it's really about balance. To answer this question, it's really about balance. You try to limit the food that may increase risk while making sure we are getting enough of the healthy food. But this doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy the hot dog and ham. When you eat them once in a while, it's still okay. The problem is when you eat them too often and out of balance.
Ah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Like, I get that you're not trying to tell everyone like, oh, you should never like eat
Avoid this,
a
avoid
hot
that. Yeah.
dog or you should never eat like junk food, such and such. I mean, you are allowed to go out there and indulge,
Mm.
but once in a blue moon, like, once in a while. And so, but at the same time, I think I really like the part when you mentioned that we shouldn't be focusing just on the food that we should avoid, but also the foods
Mm.
that we should include more in our diet, like vegetables, beans, and white meat, and whatnot, whatnot. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think because I'm reminded of I'm sure that as a dietitian, you are familiar with this. They said that try to make your plate look as colorful as much as possible.
Yeah, the
So,
variety of the food.
tomatoes and carrots, there's a color in your food, then
Also
it's going to
cabbage.
be
Yeah.
quite the nutritious and balanced meal. Yeah, so it's all about balance. You can
Mm.
enjoy sugar in your coffee, or maybe on Sundays you can choose just to lessen the sugar, or maybe just go sugar free. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, this one is very, very based on individual taste because people like different things when it comes to their diet and food. And so it's really up to you to decide how you want to customize your diet.
Mm.
Yeah, great. Okay, so we're talking really a lot about food. We've just talked about the red flags like processed foods and such and such. But the thing is that we have something called superfood. And I think this is quite a popular term in the recent years. So I would like to know, Yanchi, can the consumption of superfoods, like say for example blueberries and turmeric, can they prevent cancer altogether?
Okay. I receive this kind of question a lot. Can I eat this to prevent cancer? Can I eat that to prevent cancer, including like superfood, But unfortunately, the short answer I would say is no. Okay, however, the examples that you provide just now, the blueberries, the turmeric, okay, maybe we have more, they do contain some beneficial compounds, especially like the antioxidants, okay? They can help to protect our cells from DNA damage. And yes, they can be part of our healthy diet and may have some protective effect against the cancer. But at the moment, there's no strong scientific evidence saying that there's any single food when you eat them. Well, when I eat a superfood, it can prevent the cancer altogether. So I'm quite careful in answering this question. And same
Mhm.
goes also for the vitamins and mineral supplements, like the salesman always asks you to eat this, to eat that, to prevent this, prevent that. They can be useful if someone has a specific deficiency condition, or you just want to get enough intake of a specific nutrient if your daily diet can't provide enough. But they are not recommended as a way to prevent cancer in general. So back to the basic. what matter the most is the overall diet and lifestyle, which we want to say today. There's no shortcut or an easy way. So instead of focusing on just like one superfood, it is better
Mm-hmm.
to look at the bigger picture. We still need to eat a balanced diet with plenty of fruits, vegetable, and whole food, and maintain a healthy body weight, stay active. So these are the key to prevent cancer and reduce the risk. Mm.
Yeah, so it basically ties back to what we talked about
Right.
just now. So, I mean, again, you are very careful with what you actually
Yeah, correct. I don't want
you're
to make
telling
any
our audience.
claim like
Yeah, that's absolutely no claim. So we're not claiming anything, just FYI. But the thing is that, as Yanchi said, it all boils down to how you balance out your diet. So, if you want to go ahead and enjoy the turmeric or the spirulina or the acai berries or whatsoever, I think it is it's just that way. It's just that way. Yeah. So just focus
mm,
on balancing the diet, and that's pretty much it. Yep. Okay, and
right.
then so still on the point of that, so another question that I would like to ask is do specific diets, so remember just now I was talking about the vegetarian or the gluten-free, so things like eating more organic food or maybe the keto diet or the vegetarian diet, does it actually provide us an advantage in cancer prevention?
Okay, diet that mentioned organic, vegetarian, and also keto, right? I agree that some diet can be very trendy nowadays, especially when people want to be healthier and also lose weight in a short time. But my answer is still the same, like the previous one. There's no single special diet that can guarantee cancer prevention. But what are the advantage? So let's go through your example. First one you mentioned is organic, right? So eating organic food or diet, of course, they can reduce our exposure to the pesticide, all right? But there are no strong evidence that are saying that organic diet is directly linked to reducing cancer risk. And in fact, if you eating more vegetable and fruits, this actually matters more than whether you go organic or not. So organic vegetable, they are fine. Non-organic vegetable, they are also good. Like you wash them, you just need to wash them properly. But not eating vegetable at all is the bigger problem in increasing your cancer risk.
Mhm.
And then I will link to like another one, which is the vegetarian diet that you mentioned just now. They are generally high in vegetables and fruit intake. All right. And there are already studies suggesting that if you have high fiber in your diet, it can protect you against the colorectal cancer. But it's still possible to have an unhealthy vegetarian diet if you include a lot of like processed food, even though there's no processed meat, but you have like so many processed food, it can be unhealthy. So if you are on a vegetarian diet, here's a friendly reminder to make sure that your diet needs to be balanced, nutrient dense,
Mhm.
and also having enough protein. If you are also a vegan that totally avoid egg and dairy product, you might also consider taking some supplement like vitamin B12 or calcium. And this supplement are just for you to maintain your overall health. Okay, it's not to prevent cancer. Yeah, and
Mhm. Okay.
next one is the keto diet. Wow, keto diet.
Okay.
I agree that
Yeah.
it is quite popular for weight loss. It is a eating
Yeah.
pattern. For those who don't know, they are low carb, they are moderate protein and also high in fat. Okay, the idea
Hmm.
is to restrict the carbohydrates intake in the diet and force the body to burn the fat for energy instead of using the carbohydrate itself. But when it comes to cancer, there's currently no strong evidence that it can prevent cancer, although it can
Okay.
reduce weight. Okay, and it is also important to note that keto diet is actually for me is quite challenging to sustain it in the long run. And there are also some
Hmm.
concerns about the keto diet as well. It particularly on their nutrition balance and also their long-term health effect. If the keto diet is not done carefully, firstly, it may increase your risk of heart disease because there's a high fat intake in the diet, and it can also
Hmm.
lead to the lack of vitamins and minerals due to some limitation of the fruits, vegetable, and grain intake as an overall. So I would say that keto diet they might be effective for like short-term weight loss, but their long-term health risk is still unclear, and you should take that in cautious and maybe consult a nutritionist or dietitian if possible. So to
Okay.
conclude your overall this question, um, this trendy diet can sound appealing, okay, but we should
Mm-hmm.
be mindful to not to go to extreme, like cutting out a whole food group without any valid reason or searching for a single superfood or super diet to prevent cancer. Okay, the key is still back to the basic to aim for a balance and a sustainable way of healthy eating in the long run. Yeah,
Okay.
long run.
Mm. Yeah, that's a very detailed explanation. You've given some good examples like the keto diet and also organic and
Yeah.
such and such. But yeah, again, it all boils back to
Mm.
square one. It's always been like that. So I think that is
Mm.
the idea that people should keep in mind whenever it comes to, eating healthy and also preventing cancer and such and
Correct.
such. So, okay, right now, so let's just try to make things for a bit more interesting for the audience. So, actually,
Mm-hmm.
my next question to you has something to do with myths. So, when it
Beef.
comes to diet and cancer, there are a lot of common beliefs and common myths that people strongly believe in. So I'm just going to name just a few, and I would like the audience, so those of you who are still actively listening, so I want you to give a very simple yes or no to in the chat box. So you just write yes or no. Okay, so the first myth is, does sugar feed cancer? So do you think yes or no? So I'm just gonna give you a while to type in. Whoa, I see answers already. Wow, wow, wow,
So
wow, wow.
fast.
Some people say yes, some people say no, some
Mm.
people say yes, yes, yes. I'm seeing quite a lot of yes right now.
Yeah, a
Okay, now
lot actually.
no's.
Wow, that's me.
Wow.
It's really a myth.
Yeah, because a myth is like, some people believe in it and some people don't believe in it. Okay, so back to you, Yanchi. So how do you answer this question? Does sugar feed cancer?
I wow, this is a really common myth.
Yes.
Um, because the your question is like whether sugar directly feed the
Yes.
cancer. Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, it is
Just
true
two.
that like our cancer cell use sugar for energy, but same goes
Yep.
to all the normal cells in our body.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cutting out sugar completely from our diet, actually it won't just stop the cancer from developing.
Uh,
And I think what I concern about this question is that some people they even go too far by they just not cut the sugar, but they cutting out all the carbohydrates, like the whole grains and fruits that are actually important for our body health. So
yep.
the real concern here is like having too much added sugar in your diet that leads to the weight gain. Okay, and being overweight is what increase the cancer risk.
Yes.
Yeah, and there are also concerns about I think we have a like casual discussion about artificial sweeteners, right? If you would want to eat added sugar,
Yeah.
currently
Yeah.
there's also I think it's also opportunity for me to address this. There's no strong evidence linking them to cancer risk so far. They are generally safe to be consumed in moderation. Yeah, so the answer is no. Sugar not directly feed the cancer. All of our cells use sugars as well. Yeah, the problem is a weight gain.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. So,
I hope this
is
answer
your
the myth.
answer like yes or no, actually?
Huh?
Is your answer like yes or no? Or is it
No.
like more complicated? No. So the answer is no, like a straight no.
Yeah, because if when you say like, but whether sugar feed cancer cells, because it
Yeah.
sugar use sugars for energy, like generally, so it doesn't
Yes,
really
yes,
feed the
yes.
cancer cells only. Yeah, the thing is when you have too much sugar in your diet, that leads to the weight gain.
Ah, I see. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So the second myth.
Okay.
Okay. Second myth is okay. So as Asians, as Malaysians, we sometimes in our diet we eat certain foods more compared to
Mm-hmm.
other populations, like maybe the white populations. And here in Malaysia, soy is actually quite prominent in the Malaysian cuisine. We
Mm.
have things like
Soy.
tofu, we have soybean milk, we have tofu fa, and etc. And these things are enjoyed across all the different races here in Malaysia. So I would like to know, does soy increase the risk of cancer?
Okay, let's see what are the
Yeah.
answers
Yeah, let's
to our
see
audience.
another yes or no. Okay, so we have like
Hmm.
some no's, some very big no's. No, 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 no. Yes, we have one yes, one no.
No, no. But I can say that it's more no than yes for now.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
and correct. The answer
So what
is
do you
actually
think?
no.
Answer is no. Yeah, soy
Yeah,
does not
no. Okay,
increase
but
your risk of getting cancer.
I agree that some people they worry that soy might increase the breast cancer risk because it contains a compound called isoflavone. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
isoflavone had a structure similar to the estrogen itself, but in our body they actually do not act the same. And in fact, there are already many population study. One of our study actually studied about soy. They have actually showed that people who eat more soy tend to have a lower risk of breast cancer, especially in the
Oh.
Asian population, although this claim is not very conclusive yet. So overall, I would say you no need to worry about it. You no need to avoid soy in your diet. In fact, I love soy. It can be part of our healthy diet, and it is actually a good source of plant-based protein. Mm.
Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. That's quite a bit of things to know just about soy itself. Okay,
Yeah.
and then now we have the third quite common myth. I think
Ah.
every person would actually ask about this or think, oh God, yeah, and she disappeared for a second. Yeah. Okay. So the third one that I would like to bring up is it possible to try natural remedies like alternative medicine or complementary therapies to treat cancer? So I would like to again pass back to the audience to give them a yes or no. Like instead of going for the common treatment like chemotherapy and radiotherapy and sometimes surgery to treat cancer, some people turn to alternative medicine. So do you think that it can actually help to treat cancer? Well, okay, so a
Yeah.
lot of
I can see
majority
a lot of
says
no.
no. No, yeah, I don't see a single yes anywhere. No,
Yeah,
no,
correct. There's
no,
no
no
problem.
Promax. Yes, absolutely, yes. Great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what about you, Yanchi? So would you go ahead and give us your input on the myth?
Yes, this is a very important question, especially like when you have like old people in your house, right? They might think that they might just like look at what does the online claims and then they believe in it. So we must be very careful with the health claim that we see online and always check that whether especially when they are selling some product, you need to check them whether they are approved by the Malaysian health authorities. And
Mm-hmm.
there's currently no strong evidence that any herbal or any natural product they can completely treat or cure cancer. And I would say, in fact, some herbal product can be harmful if you are already in the cancer treatment. They can interfere with the chemotherapy drugs or treatment. And the dangerous part is when the people they are totally rely on this product and they just don't go to the standard medical treatment or they delayed it. We already know that there have been real cases that these can lead to a very serious outcome and including death. So the safer approach, I would say, is still you always need to talk to your doctor, okay, before you take any supplement or any including the vitamin, minerals or soil if you have allergy, right? Just now I saw like one question about that. Yeah. So uh, yeah, just need to make sure like what you take, especially during cancer treatment. So the answer is really like a no if you like just believe in the health claim in the internet. Mm,
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, especially since, yeah, just somebody just put in a comment in the chat box, something about
TCM.
traditional Chinese medicine. Yeah,
Correct.
because in Malaysia, I think quite a number of people they do believe in traditional medicine, so it can be TCM or Bomo or Ayurvedic. So
Yeah.
these actually play a quite an integral part in our culture. So some people actually do believe in it, and even in my household, like if I'm feeling like tired or maybe I'm having a bit
Mhm.
of hot, say for example, it's a very hot day, so we Chinese we tend to make like soups or we just come up with like chrysanthemum tea. So that's usually what my mom tells me to drink if it's too hot, so to avoid the heatiness of it. Yeah, but then again, that's not cancer related. It's just that just interesting to mention mentioned that TCM and other types of traditional medicine is also quite a prominent phase in Malaysian culture.
Yes, correct. They are generally safe to consume, and it's good to maintain your overall health. Overall health. It's
Yes,
just that
yes.
when you are in a cancer treatment, you need to be careful and always talk to your doctor because we don't know what are the ingredients that interfere with the drug, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it not only applies to cancer because I know for a
Hmm.
fact that there are some medications in which they advise you, oh, you should not be taking like grapefruit or something like that
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah, I heard something about that.
the
Correct.
food contains a certain chemical components like the whatever you call it, it can actually interfere with the treatment. So I think
Mm.
best case scenario, if you are treated for cancer or any other chronic diseases, it's always good to rely on your doctor to
Mm.
advise you on what to eat and not to eat because it differs for every individual and it also differs depending on the disease that you are talking about. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, great. So let's move on. So this one is a bit more of a general question as well. So what would
Mhm.
you recommend Malaysians to include or avoid in their diet to minimize their cancer risk?
This question, like what you mentioned, we have so many delicious food in our country, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
cannot deny the nasi lemak. You know,
Malaysian
it's
diet.
not in our blood. We
Mm.
can't do it.
I think it's really come down to the small and practical change on how you can like maintain a healthy diet. So in terms of what to include, all right, try to have more vegetable. I would say the general guideline first. Try to have more vegetables in your meals. Choose the whole grains instead of the refined grains, and then
Mhm.
also choose a lean meat instead of the fatty meat when possible. And of course, don't forget to include the food that are high in fiber, like the even the beans, the fruits, and the nuts. Yeah, you can just eat them as a snack, okay? Most
Nice.
Malaysian, I think nowadays they don't have enough fiber intake, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Yes,
and in
yes,
terms of
yes.
what to avoid, okay, the second part, try to cut down on the processed meat and food that are high in fat and sugar. Okay, like the
Yeah.
all the goreng stuff, all the sugary drink, the colorful drink,
That's like
yeah,
that's very common in Malaysia.
correct, correct.
Yeah,
And
the
of
fried
course,
foods and the sugary drinks is
mm,
just like, everywhere in our mama or the restaurants. It's just
so
everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe should also avoid or limit like I would say limit alcohol. Okay. Another
Yeah.
important point is our portion size and also the balance because we know like outside we always have a very a lot of like carb dense food. Okay, and maintaining a healthy weight plays a big role in reducing the cancer rate. So we can always follow like Malaysia, we have our Malaysia dietary guideline. We have suku separuh concept. Okay, the suku
Mhm.
separuh means like half of the fruits and vegetable, okay, and then quarter of
Okay.
carbs and quarter of protein. So in your plate, that is a quite easy guideline to follow if you want to like take your
So this
economic
is
right.
actually, I think this is recommended by our Ministry of Health, right? So they actually
Yes.
published it somewhere, and I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
very easy for our audience who are interested in the separu suku to actually go and check it out.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct. And I
yeah.
think the general guideline that I give just now, they are actually not impossible and they can be done in affordable way actually. For
I
example,
see.
I will just give some example that are quite relevant to me. For example, like
Mm-hmm.
when ordering drinks, I will always ask for kosong teh
Yeah,
C
same.
kosong, coffee C
Yeah,
kosong,
yeah,
like or
yeah,
less sugar to cut down all the added sugar. And
yeah.
instead of like all the kueh or processed snack you eat every day, you can replace them with fruits or nuts. And also, secondly, when we tend to eat out often, right? We can try to aim for a balanced meal and choose for the healthy cooking method. Like you can just have a steamed chicken rice. Okay, and then you just
Okay.
order an extra portion of vegetable like the chicken rice tauge, ulam or popiah, right? You can also
Mm-hmm.
always choose like steam, stir fry, or grill options for the meat instead of the deep fried one when possible. And even for the local food, like all the nasi lemak, all the curry, like we love them so much, right? You don't have to avoid them completely. You can just prepare them in a healthier way. If you're cooking it, you can use less santan, the coconut milk,
Okay.
reduce oil, and also try to add more vegetables. just to balance the meal. Yeah. So
But
overall, it's
technically,
more.
the only vegetable in nasi lemak is the cucumber.
Yeah, then you can add more other vegetable, or maybe you can add the portion size of the cucumber to make it separoh, the suku and the separoh. But now the
Yeah.
nasi already separoh. Yeah, so
I
we just need to
cannot
play around with it.
imagine the nasi lemak going with the separos. It's like just one whole piece of cucumber over there compared to the rice and also the ikan bilis and the fried chicken. That would actually be so weird. Like you're eating a
Yeah.
whole block of cucumber right over there. Yeah, but obviously that's not how it is.
Uh,
I think you
Like the nasi
can
lemak that we always
maybe
buy outside, right? Like especially the one
yeah
ringgit, 2 ringgit one, they are just
yeah
rice and sambal, no vegetable, no protein at all. Yeah, so we can
Yeah,
add the
exactly,
taste and
exactly.
balance.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. The nasi lemak bungkus from the makcik, it's always like that. So maybe you can just bring it home and maybe boil another egg or maybe cut more cucumbers with it. I don't know. I
Or
really
you can
don't know
eat
how to go.
kangkong with nasi lemak. I saw the comment. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Because I think the kangkong one, I think that one is more prominent in Malacca because I've been to Malacca quite a couple of times. Then
Mm,
they do serve it with like egg, the
mm.
omelette shredded, and they have it with kangkong. So I think that one is like a healthier version. Yes, it's from Malacca. Yeah, so that one maybe we should start eating more like Malacca regional nasi lemak. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, amazing. Okay, so I think, is there anything else you want to add on for this question, Yanchi?
I think that's all. Yeah, I just giving some my daily choices example that I can think of. Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
just want to
yeah.
tell you guys that it's not hard to follow. You don't need to think about like you use olive oil or use salmon. There are already some healthy option in our Malaysia food. You just need to make
I
it
see.
balanced.
I
Mm.
see. Okay, great. Okay, so next question. So we are
Mm.
deviating from the general questions. I've asked you a lot about
Mhm.
diet and even the regime and all these specific diets and stuff like that and foods and red flags. So now, so I just want to know because you are actually working in a certain unit here in Cancer Research
Correct.
Malaysia, which is the cancer prevention and
And
population. I
population
forgot what is
science
the
unit.
I forgot what is it. You are the one who
CPPS, Cancer
Cancer
Prevention and
Prevention and Population
Population
Science.
Science. Yeah,
Okay, great.
correct.
I got it. I got it. Okay, great. So since you're working there, I want to know that has your team like done anything relevant, any research to benefit Malaysians? Because you know a lot about food, you know how important it is when it comes to minimizing your risk for cancer. So what have you and your team done to actually help us Malaysians in the future?
Okay, actually, our team can be divided into like three pillars of in because the general term is prevention, right? So prevention is includes like increase your early screening, increase
Mhm.
I also including identify individual that are high risk so that they can go to the screening for mammogram. Most of us we are focusing on the breast cancer, but my focus is fall down in the third pillar. Our focus is to identify the practical ways to reduce cancer risk, like through lifestyle factors, such as diet, by using the evidence that is relevant to our Asian population. So, to talk about this diet-related research, right? Our team has conducted the Malaysian soil and mammographic density study. Yeah, in short term, I just
Okay.
call it MISO. Okay, the MISO study. So,
Okay,
this
sounds
research.
Japanese.
Yeah, it's so in Japanese, but yeah, because Malaysian soil and mammographic density, so we just like call it MISO study. So
Okay.
this research actually explore whether the soil intake can influence the breast cancer risk by looking at its effect on our breast density, right? Because breast density is an important factors. The woman with denser breast tissue will have a higher risk of developing breast cancer. This is already an established risk factor. So in the MISO
Okay.
study, we actually found that the group with higher soil intake, they are actually associated with lower breast density, and especially among the early postmenopausal women, right? However, the findings right now, they are not statistically significant. Yeah, I would say. So we are actually quite cautious in our interpretation. We are not trying to make a claim through this research. But what the research tells us is that they might be a signal worth for us to explore further. So we are now continuing this work by refining on how we analyze the breast image and also investigating
Mhm.
whether the genetic difference in our body they may influence like how individual respond to the soil. Yeah, so that's one of the key research, the meso study. Another one that the research that is ongoing is focused on vitamin E. Okay,
Okay.
especially a form called the tocotrienol because they already have a
Okay.
very high antioxidant properties. And this
Mhm.
tocotrienol, why we start this because they can found abundantly in the palm oil and also a
Palm
rice
oil.
bran oil, other some nuts and seeds. And given that
Okay.
palm oil is actually widely consumed in Malaysia, okay, and across the Southeast Asia region. So we think that we are interested in understanding on how these tocotrienol can play a role in reducing the cancer risk in our population. All right, yeah. So this the two, the second one, the ongoing research, and of course we do not just look at a single food. But I say just now is the overall that matters. So cancer risk is influenced by overall dietary pattern and also lifestyle. We are also exploring on how how research can improve our understanding in how the culturally specific eating patterns in overall in Malaysia, that how they can influence the cancer rate across our multi-ethnic communities like the Chinese, Indian, and Malay. Want to see whether they are different. So
Mm.
just we haven't have a conclusion yet, and this we are still constantly exploring. So always stay tuned for the updates on these
Yeah.
exciting research. I hope it's exciting for you also.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Also
Yeah,
exciting for the
absolutely.
result.
Yeah, of course. So, but then you do need some time in order to,
Correct.
conduct these
I'm still
research
quite
and
new, by the way, in here,
yeah,
just three
of
years, you
course.
know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So all the best in your research
Yeah,
and
research is a
future
long run,
researches to come.
long
Yeah,
journey.
yeah. It takes a lot of time, takes energy, and
Mm.
of course, it takes a lot of money for that. Yeah. Of course, I can see the smile of pain on your face when you're reminded of it. I'm so sorry, Angie. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
that's why we are
Okay.
actively applying grant. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's why you're busy. Have to apply grants and applications and
Mm.
all of that. Yeah. Okay. And then now, my last question for you. Okay,
Okay.
what advice would you give Malaysians to encourage them to lead a healthier lifestyle?
Okay, so last question. This is a
Yes.
final takeaway, I would say.
Yes.
Let's just focus on the small sustainable change, okay, rather than the drastic one, like completely transfer into another diet. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we don't chase for like trends, miracle solution. All right, there's no single superfood or magic diet that can prevent cancer altogether, but instead we work on the overall healthy eating patterns. Okay, and you may also still enjoy our local favorite, but in moderation and with the healthier tweaks, as we mentioned in the example just now. And also, beside the healthy diet, right? I will also say, we can maintain our healthy weight by not just at a diet, also by staying active. Do
Yes, of
exercise more
course.
often in your daily life. Okay, and lifestyle wise, you need to avoid smoking. Is a strong risk factor for cancer, and
Okay.
also avoid too much alcohol to lower down the
Okay.
cancer risk.
Okay.
So most importantly, don't start tomorrow. Start
Start.
today for a healthy
Yeah, of course.
diet.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's a
More,
very good advice. Yeah.
yeah, start small. Stay consistent.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
and try to make the
absolutely.
choices that you can maintain in the long run. Okay, I think I actually have some slides that if you have more questions, you can actually refer to these guidelines that I think is quite interesting. Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
sure. Let's
it can
share
serve
it.
as a final takeaway. Yeah, let me share my slide. It can be
Yeah, sure.
seen. Hmm. Okay, because when I just know about this topic, I think there are already quite a few guidelines that you can check on. Actually, if
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
like, for example, this is the famous one. It is a guideline from the World Cancer Research Fund and also American Institute for Cancer Research. They already come up with the cancer prevention recommendation. So you can see, right, in all of the logos here, this is already include the healthy diet as an overall, like the diet rich in
Mm.
whole grain, vegetable, fast food, and also limit red meat and also processed meat, limit alcohol
Yes.
consumption. Yeah, and do not use vitamin and supplement for
For
cancer
cancer
prevention.
prevention.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
stay actively and also be healthy way. So this is a general
Yes.
guideline for cancer prevention. And then
This
also
is
in
nice.
Malaysia, we if you're still wondering on how you can eat healthily, we already have our Malaysia Dietary Guideline in 2020, just revised. Yeah, so they have like 14 key message related to how you can actually eat healthily in your daily life. For example,
Mm,
a variety of food. Okay, the number two one is healthy weight. Number three is physically active every day. Four
yeah.
is like cook nutritious food at home more often than eating outside.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and
home
next
cooked
one,
meals are healthier compared to you eating out because you get to
yeah,
control the salt and the sugar and what you
correct,
eat. So you
correct,
have like
correct.
complete mastery over your own diet. So that's great. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and then you see the 8, 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
They are
Wow.
just the general that we already mentioned, the general guideline that we already mentioned just now. 12 also, drink plenty of water,
Water. Yeah,
keep
of
safe.
course. You gotta stay hydrated. Yeah.
Yeah, and make
Never
effective use of the
forget.
nutrition information on the food labels. Yeah, just a fun
Oh.
fact to share with you guys. Like if you're reading
Yeah,
at the nutrition label,
this
right?
is actually really, really interesting and also very informative. So I think I think anybody could just Google it and download it, right? So
Yes.
what is this called? This is the Malaysian Diet
Malaysian
Guideline?
Dietary Guideline.
Ah,
Malaysia
the
Dietary Guideline
Malaysian Dietary
2020.
Guidelines
Yeah,
20.
it's
Oh,
a
2020 is like 6 years ago though. Is this the updated one?
yeah, this is still the latest and relevant to the
Oh, I see.
food.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I
it's still
think that
relevant.
it's a great thing that I think it would encourage people to actually go Google it and check out the PDF. I'm sure they have it in PDF somewhere. Yeah, I think it's available for
Yeah,
the public anyway. So if
it
any of
is.
you want like more information, then please
Mhm.
go ahead and read this. And I think it would be
Yeah.
very, very beneficial
Can I
for
just
your
add on
knowledge. Of
a
course,
bit
yeah,
on the
yeah,
key message 14, right? Talking about the
yeah.
food nutrition label, just a fun fact to share because I realized that a lot of people around me, they don't really know how to read the label, especially the food ingredient part. So the fun fact is the ingredient is actually arranging in a descending order. So it arranged with
Okay.
the most portion first, and then
Oh,
slowly to the last one. So if you see sugar is the first one, or you can try to
okay.
avoid this kind of process. And back to it. So sugar means like more
Yeah.
than 50% is sugar already. It's the main one, and then followed by. But if it is like wheat flour or oat, then maybe it's a healthy choice. And some company they actually registered with the Ministry of Health
Mhm.
to make a healthier choice logo option. It's the red color one. If you notice, there are actually some logo that pays on that label on the product itself, a healthier options. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So next time
So
maybe when we go grocery shopping, you should just like take it as like a bit more of a leisurely activity. You just stand there and just check the food label. Trust me, nobody is going to judge you just for standing there and just looking at the
I always do
package.
that.
So yeah, I think yeah, because we're all used to like just grabbing it and putting it into the basket or the trolley, and we don't like take a moment or two to just like stand there and actually take a good look at the food that we are going to buy and eat. So I think we
Mm,
should make it a good practice to like just take it a bit more slowly and just like go
yeah.
by the way. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Correct. Right. And then I think the final one, you just the food pyramid. Yeah, just to know that the base one is no longer the traditional carbohydrate one, is the fruits and vegetables. And then the
Okay.
separat. The last one is if you are still very interested in how many grams should I take in a day. I think this is also a
Ooh,
book that used since my university time until now. Yeah. And
okay.
it will be constantly, it is still considered the latest guideline. It's the recommend nutrients intake that include the macronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. So inside they already have like different recommendation for different group like infant, children, adult, pregnant women. So it's not a strict prescription, but it recommend for general health maintenance. Yeah, so this is
Okay.
also the book that's free to Google online. That's all.
Okay.
I think I hope this message actually helps in addressing all the questions.
Um, Thank you so much for actually sharing those sources and references. I think that it can encourage people to read a bit more if they are
Mm,
really interested in it. Yeah. So, I mean, for those of you who are really interested, just go ahead and read because there's only so much that we can cover in the webinar. So, unfortunately, we just have to like keep it to a very general guideline. Yeah. But as Yanchi said, make it balanced, make it colorful, make it varied, and of course,
Nutrition
you know,
balance, balance.
yes, of course, definitely. And don't forget the separuh suku-suku, but just don't put a whole cucumber next to your nasi lemak. That's just not it. Yeah, but I think it would be great if you could just like stir fry some vegetables just to like pair with your nasi lemak. I think that's great. Yeah. Okay. So now let us give the audience an opportunity to ask their questions. So due to time constraints, because it's now 11:50, we can allow maybe a maximum of 5 questions. So if you have anything, please fire away.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
so we will like
just
look
five
through
questions, and if we still have some time, then maybe we can allow like one or two more. Yeah, because we don't want to hold us back for the hold us back. Yeah. So, okay. So maybe we can address the ones in the Q&A box first. Yanchi from Anonymous. So
the
can ovarian cancer patients take soy, and does it increase recurrence? So this is a simple yes or no question.
Q and egg.
Yeah, Q&A. So I just read out the question
I
to you.
I think recently I raised a research paper that you generally can eat soy for breast cancer patient and it does not really increase the recurrence. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, right, all this question about cancer recurrence or whether the cancer patient can eat this or eat that, I'm not the very suitable person to address this question because I'm the nutritionist. I'm not the dietitian. Yeah,
Okay.
so whatever that topic that related to cancer patients, cancer recurrence, yeah, I think we can try to address this in a proper way, maybe to
Yes.
a more suitable questions. Yeah. But
Okay.
generally, it does not increase the recurrence lah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Great. All
the
right.
sugar from food cause cancer or
Or
trigger
triggers.
cancer.
I think this is from the same person as well, actually.
It's the same person. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think so. Like we said just now, sugar doesn't really cause cancer, trigger the cancer. The problem is when you eat too much of sugars that lead to weight gain.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Short
so
and
fruit
sweet.
you
Great.
can still eat
All
it.
right.
Of course, like even though fruit is the healthy food, okay,
Yeah. But you
you
can't
don't
eat too
just eat
much.
them. Yeah, you don't overload
Mhm.
your diet with all the food. In fact, I have
Yeah.
seen like one influencer in Instagram that they she actually like just like drink vegetable fruits and fruit juice like all the
Oh,
like
yeah.
throughout the
Yeah.
diet, and this actually caused a very severe health condition in her body actually. So we
I
don't
see.
encourage to, yeah, go to extreme, even though it is healthy fruit,
So the
food.
main takeaway is that too much of something is never good.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
correct.
should always practice everything in moderation, even fruits and vegetables, even whole wheat and oats. Yeah, you can eat them, but keep it in moderation. So make sure that you eat the right amount. Don't eat too little and don't eat too much.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct.
great. Okay, so the next question is from SW Lee. Is red meat bad for cancer patients?
Cancer patients again. Wow.
Yeah, red meat. Yeah, red meat is quite an interesting one, though.
Okay, yeah, because red meat currently the research for red meat it does say some studies saying that it can increase the risk for cancer. I'm not so sure about cancer patients, okay, but generally population it increase the risk, but the evidence is still very limited. So we can't say it is a strong claim that when you eat red meat, it can guarantee increase your cancer risk. It's just that you don't eat it too often, and the cooking way, the meat is still more important than you eating it. Yeah,
Oh, I see.
the
Okay.
cooking
Okay.
method itself.
Okay, great. All right, so we have another one from Kok Soon
Limited evidence. Yeah,
Can
so
reduce the risk of cancer. Ooh, salso. Hmm.
which one? The
By it's in the chat box actually.
Oh,
Salso.
okay.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
what do
repeat
you
the
think?
can you repeat the
Mhm.
questions again? Which one?
Oh,
I can't see it.
can sour soap reduce the risk of cancer? So it's the fruit.
Sour soup. What is sour
Yeah.
soup? Ah? Oh
It's
no.
a
You know
fruit.
what
It's a
is
fruit.
that?
It's like green with like it's soft on the inside. It's fleshy. Durian Belanda. Have
Durian
you seen
Belanda.
soursop
Oh,
before, Yanchi? Do you not know what a soursop is?
maybe in my family we call it another one. Durian Belanda that I know. Can reduce the risk of cancer. Generally, when you eat I will say it again. The question that Amanda asked just now is like not whether this food or that food can reduce cancer. It's still it can be included in your healthy diet. Okay,
Well,
it can be
somebody
included
wrote
because
a
it's just
Chinese translation for you. You have English,
oh,
Malay,
Hong
and
Liu Lian.
also
Okay, I know that
Chinese.
one, Hong Liu Lian. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you all
Thanks,
for being
everyone.
so helpful. Yeah.
That's mean I'm very, very local. Yeah, using the language
Yeah,
I'm very
amazing. Yeah,
local.
it's so diverse. Okay,
Um,
so back to your answer.
Back to your question. Yeah, I actually the concept is still same as how I answer Amanda question just now. We don't say one food, one single food whether it can reduce your risk or increase your risk. We try to make it balanced. Like since durian belanda is part of the fruit, then you can include it in your healthy diet. Yeah,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
can just
after
eat that.
still
And
fruit
variety.
and yeah, I think because a lot of the questions here are some of them are asking about red meat and natto
Yeah,
and
particular.
soybeans and soy sour soap during Belanda. So I think to answer all of them in one go, it's
Yes,
just
correct.
exactly what you said. I mean, feel free to eat it. If they are healthy, then just go ahead. But again, eat them in moderation. Don't just like eat them every single for every
Correct.
single
You know,
meal
that
and
is
for every
our
single day.
hmm,
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
one of our common things that we always encounter as a nutritionist. Hey, can I eat this? Hey, can I eat
Oh
that?
yeah,
Can I
can I
eat
eat that?
apple?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
what is that in the orange? But well, we are not ChatGPT that with all the questions in our mind. Yeah, so we
Yep.
are giving a general healthy guideline. Yeah, not recommend one food. So on the contrast, if you see like one salesman, one particular online person say that, wow, you must eat this product. This is good, good, good. This content,
Mhm.
what ingredient, then that need to be interpreted with cautious. Yeah, because we don't
Yeah.
give recommendation like that. Mm.
Okay. Right. And then there quite interesting one. So one from Janet asking, is protein more important than fiber in cancer patients?
Is protein more important than fiber? Okay, again, this is the question that addressed to cancer patients, which I'm not
Mhm.
so familiar with because my audience are more to like healthy person. But I would
Mhm.
say, if somebody that experience muscle loss, definitely you need to replenish your protein. And generally, fiber intake is part of our healthy diet. So, I won't say which one is more important. It really depends on what is the current health condition of the cancer patient, and you really need to consult this with your doctor. Mm.
Of course, yeah. And then we
Mm.
have one, okay, let's just take like maybe two more questions and then we can just move on because everyone is very, very
Are
excited when
there
it comes to
any?
this. So it's the same. Okay, so this question is actually quite similar between QQ and also Stanley. They want to know what is the best diet before, during, and after chemotherapy. So I think it still ties back to cancer
Oh
patients,
no,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. That's not my area of
Yeah.
expertise.
So maybe next time, I should consider asking somebody who is a bit more familiar in terms of dealing with cancer patients and their diets, because I did saw a suggestion. So that
Yeah,
is a
I
very good
also saw
suggestion,
that.
and I would definitely take it into consideration. So the
Which
next
one?
time, if I manage to get somebody who is a bit more, how do you say, more
Dietitians. Yeah, maybe.
qualified to actually talk about this, then we would actually launch a webinar, and hopefully we'll be able to see you during that webinar if you're really interested. Yeah, because Yenji, after all, is not a
Yeah.
dietitian; she's just a nutritionist. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then there is one. Okay, one last final one. Wait, let me just check. Okay. So, is the traditional Chinese soup broth good for health? Ah,
Do you
as a
mean by
Chinese, I
traditional
would say.
Chinese food? Is it all the yao cai tang, all
Yeah,
the
maybe the
tang
herbal
sen,
soup, or maybe just like all
sen?
of it. It's like
I
maybe
drink
the
that often,
ABC soup.
actually.
I think I just throwing in my 2 cents. I think soup is overall really great. It's like one of the healthiest way that you can actually enjoy a meal compared to like fried, deep fried. Grilled is fine because you're just like cooking it over the fire. But of course, make sure not to burn your food because the burnt substance would then be carcinogenic. But soup, I think it's overall good for health. I think that's
Yeah,
my
I would say
opinion.
the
What do
ingredient.
you think, Yanchi?
Yeah, correct. I'm also agree with you. Traditional Chinese food, Chinese soup, like what we say just now, is generally good for health. But soup can be unhealthy if you cook it with too much oil, or you put like a fried things inside the food, as we said
Oh,
just now. So
I see. I
it's
see.
yeah, it's still back to like how to make the soup as in low in fat, and then great, and then have a more portion of vegetables and meat inside. Yeah, that will make
Yes,
a
yes,
soup
yes.
very nutritious. Even though when we go to like who is the one that like to eat hot here, I
Uh,
believe like a lot of people like Hai Di
yeah,
Lao, hot mala. But for
yeah,
me
yeah, of
personally,
course.
I will always choose the Qing Tang one, the
Yeah, the
light one.
clear soup. Yep, of
Yeah, the
course.
light one, and then eat more vegetable instead of the meat itself. Yeah, so this
Mhm.
is a healthier way of how you can actually enjoy your hot pot. But of course, if my friend ordered mala, I will still like, eat together, but just maybe a few sip because I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
a big fans of like spicy food. Correct.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, absolutely. I think yeah, so we don't have any more questions from the audience. So yeah, thank you so much, Yanchi, for actually taking the
Thanks for
time
inviting.
and energy just to answer everybody's questions and my questions. So I think you did a really good job, and I think you've managed to enlighten everyone who are attending this webinar. So now for the issue on e-certificate. So for those of you who are wondering how the process goes, and maybe it's your first webinar with Cancer Research Malaysia. So let me share with you just something right over here on the webinar details. I'm sure you'll be able to see it here. Okay, right. So hold on, let me just yeah. So you can see it, right, Yanji? Right. Okay, so here is the process on how the e-certificate is done. So if you're interested in getting it from us for this webinar, so today is the 6th of May, and so tomorrow, just check your inbox. Then you will get a email from Zoom. And then when you click it, there will be a link, and that link actually directs all of you to the feedback form. So in the feedback form, you just have to provide your name and whatsoever. So if you really do want the e-certificate, you have to check the yes option. Because if it's no, then nah, you don't, it doesn't really matter because it's still a feedback form. So e-certificate say yes, and then you have to donate a minimum of just 1 ringgit. And then you take a screenshot, whether it's through your touch and go or your bank account, just attach the proof of donation over there. And then that's it. Submit the form and just wait for 30 days to actually get it. So if within 30 days you still don't get your e-certificate, then please contact us via the email address below. So that's de-coms@cancerresearch.my. And then over here at the right side, you can see that there is a QR code. So that actually directs you to our website's official donation webpage. So you can always take a picture of this if you need it. And then over here, if you want to do a bank transfer for the e-certificate, or you want to donate to support our research, you support Yen Chi and her projects, right, at CPPS, then you can refer to this one instead. Yeah. So here is the Swift code and bank account number and such and such. And so all of that. So that's all for the e-certificate details. I hope I'm clear on it. But again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us in the provided email address. And then last but not least, so you know that Cancer Research Malaysia is a research organization. We have a lot of scientists. Yanchi is one of our fellow scientists right over here, and she's always very hardworking. But the thing is that we don't always just focus on research. We also have fundraising events. That's how we garner donations to support our work. And one of the upcoming ones that we have is actually Race Against Penang. So if you follow us on social media like Instagram, you can see that we have already started promotions for this. And so, of course, the whole point of this fundraising event is to get donations for cancer research so that we can help cancer patients and their families. So this event is happening on the 28th of June at Penang Youth Park. And if you decide to donate and participate, you will be getting these exclusive things. So that's the t-shirt over there. You can see that there's patterns of the monkeys. So the reason why we chose the monkeys there is because Penang Youth Park. So for those of you who's probably from Penang or you've been to Penang before, Penang Youth Park is particularly popular with the monkeys that just like, walk around there and just chill over there. And of course, our medal is it's so cute, don't you think, Yanchi? I think it's really cute that we have bananas and monkeys, and then there's the ribbon, to show our support for cancer and, all of that. Yeah. So if you would really like to participate and support us, then please feel free to register. You can find all the information on Instagram and such. And I think that's all from me today. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I think yeah, that's pretty much the end. Okay, somebody missed the email, so let me just go back here. So please feel free to take a screenshot because we're already ending the webinar. Yeah, so you can't just buy the t-shirt. I mean, you can feel free to just register. I think it is about like 50 ringgit. I'm not too sure about it because I'm not the one managing the event, but you can always donate and then you can just collect the t-shirt. Yeah, but collecting the t-shirts, it's going to be another day. It's for the race kit collection. Yeah, but you cannot just like buy the t-shirt and then we just deliver it to you. It doesn't really work that way. Yeah. All right. So I think that's pretty much it from my side. I'm just going to stop sharing now. And of course, with that, we are coming to an end for our webinar. So once again, thank you so much, Yanchi, and thank you to all of you who have
One.
attended this webinar today. Thank you for being so interactive and thank you for being so active. We
Thank you
really
for all the
appreciate
interesting
it.
questions.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Keep
Yanchi has a
well,
lot to
Amanda.
think after this webinar, definitely. Yeah. All right. So thank you, everyone, and have a very good day.
Bye bye.